Okay, so what is CFACT?
Yeah, so CFACT is Committee for Constructive Tomorrow. We are a conservative, libertarian think tank that works on environment and climate, energy production, and conservation efforts. We do our best to push back against the left narrative on climate change, mainly in the sense that it's anthropogenic or man-made, and the sense that it's a catastrophe. We disagree with both those notions. So we do that. We do a lot of work on promoting fossil fuels use and nuclear energy. We also try to raise awareness about how green energy is not so green, and there's a lot of negative environmental consequences of that, including how offshore wind is killing endangered whale species. Onshore wind energy is maiming and killing birds, 250,000 in the U.S. annually. So we do a lot of that. We raise awareness about how hunting is a good means of conservation. And then we also have the Collegiate Division that has 32 campus reps in county.
Sorry, say that again? You have the...
we have the Collegiate Division for college students.
Oh, okay.
And we have 32 campus reps on 32 different college campuses around the country in 25 states. We did over 100 events last year.
So you believe that it's climate change is not man-made, it's just the Earth or whatever.
Yes.
How does that? How do you weigh that with the science? It's 90.
Well, we would consider the science TM to not be settled. We have a lot of scientists from various fields that work with us and other organizations like us. So we do we do our best to represent that side of the argument. We don't believe that science is settled at all. For instance, one of the things you hear a lot about is carbon emissions. Carbon is plant food, and in the past 100 years, and especially since the Industrial Revolution, our planet has gotten greener, not browner. So we disagree with how the science quote unquote is portrayed.
So you're probably pretty happy with the Trump administration coming in and changing.
Absolutely. Individually, I would certainly disagree with Trump on some things, but as an organization, we wholeheartedly support the Trump administration's energy independence move. We strongly support the fossil fuel industry, so we are very supportive of drill, baby, drill. We do a lot of work on promoting nuclear energy, so we write public comments, op-eds, white papers, send information to lawmakers on, urging them to recommission nuclear power plants. For instance, the Palisades nuclear power plant in Michigan. We've had several students write to their local congressmen and to local governments, urging them to recommission it.
This is the question I've always wanted to ask with nuclear energy. As somebody who used to live near a nuclear plant and used to get continual warnings about leakages and things like that. Sure. My nervousness. How does one sparse the other end of it, where you have to mine and mining? I've been at mines; they're not environmentally sound.
Not at all. No, totally fair. And the fact of the matter is that there's no 100% clean energy source. There's going to be costs and benefits with every energy source that we try to use, and it's just about weighing those and determining which is the best. And you have to weigh what are the environmental impacts, and then also can it support the grid that we need it to. And really, fossil fuels and nuclear energy are the only two sources of energy that can do that. We cannot power the American grid on solar, and we cannot power it on wind. And so while there are some environmental concerns when it comes to nuclear energy, it's one of the most regulated and safe energy industries ever to exist. I don't think you could find any more regulations than there are on nuclear waste disposal and things like that. So are there going to be accidents? Are there going to be concerns? Yes. But overall, is nuclear energy by far the cleanest and most productive source of energy? Absolutely.
But the problem with nuclear energy is that it can only exist with government subsidies. It can, and I have not seen Republicans or Democrats go that, because I work for a person that covered the one of them out on Long Island many years ago, and it was tens of billions of dollars that basically the taxpayers would have to put in, and then pay for energy on top of that, and not get a deal or anything like that. So this is the problem.
So we would certainly support greater private investment in nuclear energy. We would like that to exist without government subsidies. But the fact of the matter is that green energy is also receiving large amounts of government subsidies. And as an organization, we don't support any kind of subsidies. We do acknowledge that nuclear energy does require subsidies, but we would like that to be greater diversified. That way the private sector can take that.
I mean, there's almost no other industry
Right.
that gets more subsidies than oil.
Right.
I mean, how does I guess how do you sparse that? I mean, because this is the problem. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, we don't support any kind of subsidies,
Yeah.
so we would agree with anybody criticizing those subsidies. We don't think those are good, and part of the reason for those subsidies is that we are having to try to compete with foreign oil, and if we were to remove regulations and remove the red tape from the oil industry, they wouldn't need those oil subsidies because we wouldn't be relying on foreign oil.
I mean, without the subsidy, I mean, this is like one of the problems with a lot of things is that in America is that without subsidies, like corn would be, I mean, corn syrup, a bottle of Coca-Cola would be like $40, without, and so, same thing with the oil industry is that would the same thing because I mean, OPEC has their own subsidies. Sure. We have our own subsidies that we basically compete to subsidize.
I don't know if I would agree that oil would be more expensive without subsidies. We have massive oil reserves in the United States. We could function off of our own oil supply for the next several hundred years, if not thousands of years.
But companies are going to at least want to make the same massive profits that Exxon and Mobil are making.
And we certainly can't do anything about like companies wanting to make a certain level of profit. But the fact of the matter is that if we remove those subsidies and remove the red tape from the oil industry, the prices will go down. Well, they may not like that, but then that would be what happened according to laws of supply and demand.
Yeah. Is there what? I guess why are you at CPAC is a question I always ask as well. Yeah.
Why are we at CPAC? Well, we do our best to get our word out in any way that we can. We have hundreds of media contacts. We have people that go on Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, CNN, MSNBC. So CPAC is a great way for us to get our name out there, to recruit. We do local activism all across the country, so it's a great way to get people involved in that. And then it's also a great opportunity for us to recruit college students for our collegiate program.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think, I see that with a lot of, that 10 years ago, I've been covering this conference for 10 years. 10 years ago it was like TPUSA, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
But everybody seems to be doing like college reach out now. Why do you...
Well, yeah, that's a great question. So I think part of the reasoning for that is that college campuses are so wholly captured by the left. Statistically, you're more likely to be instructed by a Marxist than you are a Republican, and so that that demonstrates a huge need for alternative viewpoints on college campuses. It's kind of a cliche thing to say, but the children, the children and young people are our future, and if we're not getting our message to them, then we have no hope of continuing this debate and fighting for energy independence and good quality energy in the future. So we need to be able to reach young people.